All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here. We got a lot to talk about today, so let's go ahead and get started. This is going to be Backstage PWI episode 3. So, there's been a lot of stuff going on this last card, guys. This last couple of weeks. I want to apologize to everyone first off. Results were a little bit late this time. That was my fault. I got a little disenfranchised about some things. I had some real life stuff to take care of. I was pretty sick. I'm probably still pretty sick, to be honest. If I start coughing halfway through the video, you'll know why now. But for the most part, everything's going all right. And like I said, it shouldn't happen too often, but once in a while, results are going to be a tiny bit late. Like I said, hopefully this one will be a tiny bit early too. But once in a while, it's just going to come up. You guys are pretty understanding. I appreciate no one badgering me or pinging me every 5 seconds. Where are results? Where are results? We're not Josh Bennett, so I'm glad that everyone's staying away from that. With all that being said, I wanted to go ahead and talk about a couple things here today, and we'll just go ahead and get right started off the top. So we just finished our episode 2 of Tuesday Night Assault, and there are a couple problems, and I kind of wanted to address that first, get all the not so positive stuff out of the way first, and hopefully we can move on to some more positive stuff that you guys will be excited to listen to. Okay, so let's just get this out the way. The first problem, guys, is we can't have any more of this no showing stuff. This is not going to be acceptable anymore. I've given you guys kind of the first couple cards to kind of get your shit figured out about how long you have to role play, what days are going to work for you in role playing, yada yada yada. Okay, so now that that's all done, I've given everyone their free passes. Okay, I don't care if you no showed, if you haven't no showed. There's no more free passes on that. If you no show, it's not going to go good. I will just start. I really don't want to do it, guys. Like, I don't want to do it. But if you no show, and especially if you no show if you didn't say anything to me about it, your character's going to look bad, and that's going to be your punishment, so you don't do it again. Nobody wants the character to look bad, but no showing is unacceptable. If I'm going to use a positive example here instead of a negative one like I normally do. If Mike Sanzone, he's a real good guy. I'm sure most of you know him from previous feds. If not, you've met him here in chat. Nice guy. Dude's working like 70 hours a week. Okay, he's working like 12 hours a day, like 6 days a week. Okay, it's crazy. Yet this guy still manages to find time to do his role play for the first 2 cards. Now, I'm hearing all sorts of excuses, oh, well, this came up, or oh, I was working a lot, or oh, yeah. Guys, I don't care, okay? If I'm not saying every week you guys got to put out a 5,000 word masterpiece, okay? Spend an hour or two, get your role play done. That's it. If you don't have a spare hour or two in 11 to 12 days, you don't have time to be e-fedding. I can't help you there. You need to manage your time better. Every time I see, and that's the other problem. I see you guys in chat, and you all know who you are. I'm not going to call anyone out, but y'all know who you are. You sit in chat, and I see you talking in chat. I see you reading chat. We can see you there. It says seen by yada yada yada. Okay, and you're talking in chat, and you're sitting in chat, and then your role play doesn't get done. Well, how the hell does that happen? I see you posted on Facebook all the time, but your role play is not done. Now, guys, you're all adults. I'm not here to tell you how to manage your time. What I am here to tell you is when I see all this other shit that you're doing, but you can't, write your role play hour or two at most for, a lot of you guys, like it's just disrespectful. It's disrespectful to me. It's disrespectful to your opponents in the match, and it's disrespectful to the entire federation. Okay, so if you guys can't commit to role playing, and you don't want to be here or whatever, if you guys need a week off, tell me. Okay, if you guys know that you're going out of town, or you're moving, or you're doing whatever else, you guys just got to let me know. If you let me know, I won't book you. Okay, so the new cards should generally be going up on like Tuesday of every night. So the deadline's done, you've got your role play, and I'm writing the results. That's the time to come and tell me, hey, by the way, I'm going to be out of town for most of the next role play period. Can you not book me? Hey, my in-laws are coming into town. Like, I could maybe role play, but I'd rather just not chance, no showing. So I'm just going to ask you to not book me. guys, I'm understanding. If you tell me that to not book you for a particular week, I'm not going to book you, okay? I'm not going to penalize you for it because you let me know in advance. And that's how we do things around here. When you're honest with me, I can be honest with you. We can all treat each other with respect. It's pretty easy, okay? So, with all that being said, the key is communication, okay? If for any reason you're not going to be able to make it, you guys need to let me know. You need to let me know as soon as you can. You know what I'm saying? I don't trying to wait till the last minute, but within a timely manner before the card. Real simple. Let's just do it. Let's not have any no showing this week, okay, guys? Nobody told me before this card that there's any reason they shouldn't be able to role play. So if you no show, you have no excuse. And I worked 70 hours. Well, so did Mike, but his role play came in, yours didn't. So you know, if you can't set aside the few hours a week to get your role play done, I don't need you here. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. Pretty simple. I'm all done talking about that. We're not gonna have any more talking about no shows because it's not gonna happen anymore. Okay. So I was gonna talk a little bit about communication, but I kind of summed it up in there, guys. If you have a problem or something's going on or you need a week off or whatever it is, you just gotta let me know. Okay, I promise you guys, I'm a real fair, understanding guy when you just come talk to me. But if you don't come talk to me, let me tell you what's going to happen. Bad things. Okay, there's nothing positive that comes from a lack of communication. Okay, and I'm a real understanding guy. Like I can promise you that if you come talk to me and what you're telling me is halfway reasonable, we can come to some sort of accord. But if you don't come tell me, well, there's not much I can do for you. Okay, so let's not have any more problems with communication. Now we got our third card coming up. Um, so it's kind of the lead up to the pay-per-view. There's some stuff I got done on the third card that I wanted to do. There's some stuff I didn't get done on the third card that I wanted to. And I'll kind of expand it a little bit later. But we got the build up to the pay-per-view. Let's have good performances from everyone. Hopefully I am done being disenfranchised so we can get a better set of results this week for y'all. And really, like, what I need everyone to remember is that it's a team effort, okay? Each and every card is a team effort. And I just want everyone to bring their best effort here for this card, so I can I can write the matches well, so that everything going up to the pay-per-view makes sense. I know I said I wasn't gonna talk about no showing anymore, but one more thing, guys, if you no show the third card, I'm not gonna book you for the pay-per-view, okay? So you want to be booked on the pay-per-view, and you think you're gonna no show this card, and you're booked. Let me tell you what, it's not gonna happen. If you no show this card, you're gonna be off for the pay-per-view too. So you might as well go find Joshua Bennett over there at VWA and sign on up because you won't be on my pay-per-view. Maybe he'll let you on his. Okay, so that's about that. Now, next thing, guys, we got the pay-per-view. Okay, still not going to tell you what the new match type is. Probably not going to be revealed until I post the card. So, yeah, it may or may not, which I didn't say before, it may or may not have something to do with the hardcore title or the insanity title, excuse me. So if you want to be in a cool new match type, you better role play for the Insanity Championship on the third card. Do 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 do. Just a hint. Okay, so other than that, the pay-per-view, as I've talked about before, we're gonna have a live rollout on the pay-per-view. Okay, so what that means is, I'm telling y'all now, the deadline for the pay-per-view is going to be on a Sunday like normal. It's going to be at 6 p.m. Eastern. Okay, I think I've touched on that before. I'm just gonna remind everybody because I know not everyone's gonna remember. And so that's going to be that. And then we're going to have a live rollout. Okay, so probably starting around 7 p.m. Eastern, so about an hour after deadline, you're going to start seeing matches pop up on the site. They're going to pop up in order, hopefully, if I can do my job right. And they're going to do that, throughout the evening, hopefully all the way up to about 10, maybe at the latest 11 p.m. EST. Okay. So what I'd like to see from a lot of you guys, I know it's not gonna be possible for everyone. Some of y'all have work, some of y'all have to go, I don't know, dong your girlfriends or whatever the hell you guys do, choke your chickens, jerk your gherkins, whatever. But for those of you who are able to, what I'd like to see is it actually like to kind of have like a handler get together, for the pay-per-view results. Everyone's gonna kind of try to be online and hang out and chat and talk about the results, or I don't care if you guys want to talk about fucking Jinder Mahal beating Randy Orton for the title. I just don't care, okay? But it's good to get everyone in the chat once in a while and have everyone be able to converse with one another. During that time period, I'm going to ask that you're all on your best behavior as far as, not that you can't joke around and have fun, but I don't want to, any baiting or pers, you know, any purposeful like problem causing. Like let's just all be chill and relax and hang out and have a good time, okay? Um, so that's kind of the pay-per-view stuff. I don't want to spoil too much about the pay-per-view. There's going to be some exciting things happening that you guys probably aren't going to know about, but we'll touch on that probably towards the end of the episode again. The next thing we got over here, let's see what my list tells me. Recruiting. Okay. So as you guys may or may not know, I recently started a new EFED group, an EFED networking group on Facebook. And we've already up over 500 members. Hopefully we'll be hitting 600 by, the end of the weekend. You guys should have all gotten an invitation if you didn't let me know. And if you guys are on there and you have people on your list at EFED, just add them. I don't really care if you like them or you don't like them or you don't want them here in PWI or whatever. Just add them because what's going to happen is going to boost the member count up. And then hopefully what they'll do is they'll add people that they know. And that's the idea. When you seed a group of X amount of people and then they start adding other people. And sooner or later, hopefully, we have 1,000 people in there. And that's going to be a great recruiting tool for us. It's also going to be great for some of you guys who like to be in, a few different feds at a time to try to find a secondary fed that you can enjoy, that maybe is outside of the normal group of handlers you're used to working with. If you guys aren't in, well, let's just use AUW as an example because there's been a lot of headlines about them on Facebook recently. If you guys aren't in AUW by now, everyone knows what AUW is. Same with WWH. You guys all know what these feds are. If you're not there yet, it means you're probably not going, or you've already tried it and you don't like it. So this networking group is going to benefit everybody. I encourage you guys to participate actively, to stimulate discussion, to share your thoughts and feelings about e-fatting or just wrestling in general. How I made a post about Chris Cornell dying the other day. It's a great place to chat with other people who enjoy e-fatting and who enjoy wrestling. You guys should all really give it a shot and try to interact at least once in a while on there. And with that being said, it's a great recruiting tool. Another great recruiting tool, as always, is you guys. When you guys go out and you talk to your buddies and you tell them what a great fucking place PWI is, like use. Nowhere in the world you'd rather be. You could be in Bermuda on the beach, sipping a fucking pina colada, or you could be in PWI. I'd rather be at PWI because that's better, right? So you just tell them all that, and we need some more people coming in. Everyone's doing a pretty good job. I'm not saying we're lacking handlers. In fact, right now we probably have a couple too many handlers for the cards that I've been writing. I've been having to make some certain matches that maybe I wouldn't normally do if I had, if I wasn't trying to book 13 matches on a card because that's ridiculous. So we're gonna try to do something new here with shows that I'm not sure we're going to talk about right now, but maybe we will if we have some time. Um, One other thing that's come up recently, guys, is I need everyone to be honest with each other, okay? Now, I've told you guys, don't spill the beans on storyline stuff, please. There's some big storyline stuff coming up, both directly related to like the cards and some other overarching plots. If you know about those things, and y'all know who you are when I say overarching plots, let's all keep that in the DL for right now. We don't want to ruin anything before the pay-per-view or shortly thereafter. So, with that being said, outside of not spilling on storylines, I need you guys to be honest with each other. I need you guys to be honest with me, okay? When I ask you a question, I don't want to get a lie back from you because when you ask me a question, especially a point blank direct question about a specific issue, I try to give you the best, most honest answer I can. Now, sometimes I may say things in a way that's maybe, maybe some people call it sugarcoating, because, let's be honest, nobody wants to hear, something that they don't want to hear. Whether it's about, they're asking me about their role play, and I tell them, listen, I didn't really like it. I could just say, like, oh, well, it kind of sucked, and I could just go into some reasons why it sucked. I could just totally ream somebody, okay? That's not really constructive. But if I didn't care for something, I'm probably going to, at some point in the statement, in my response, tell you that I didn't care for it. Now, if you can't handle hearing that, well, I'm not sure what to tell you because I always encourage open communication. But you probably shouldn't ask a question that you don't think you're gonna like the answer to. If you think you're gonna get a negative response, and you don't think you can handle it, it's probably not the right time to ask me or anyone else their opinion on the matter. But trust that if you do ask me and I do give you a some negative things or some things I didn't like, I'm also going to try to tell you what I did like, and I'm also going to give you some advice on how you can improve. Okay, it's not going to be I'm going to sit here and give you the anal reaming for 5 minutes and then not say anything positive or not give you any suggestions. I'm going to tell you what I think you can improve on, maybe some pointers on how I think you could improve. And trust me, guys, I'm improving every single day. Okay, and I know a few of you guys out there, are like, oh man, he's pretty good or whatever. I've heard that from a few different people now. And yeah, I'm an okay writer, like for sure. But I'm still learning things. So unless you think you can, go one on one with me in a match and you can beat me every single time, I probably have some advice for you. And you need to be willing to accept some advice if you want to be better, whether it's from me or from a guy like Brian or from Match or from Jack or from Christy. The point is that you know the guys who are at the top of the card are there for a reason. And I know some of you probably still have this hidden feeling, deep within the bowels of your being that, oh well, it's because they write 4 to 5,000 words. Well, yeah, that's part of it, guys. Like, we always knew that there was going to be discrepancies in length, but you know a guy who writes 5,000 words but still scores a 9 out of 10 is a really good role player. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's something to be learned from them. It's not just about the length. Okay. I promise that nobody's in the main event any given week because they write long role plays. They're there because they write quality role plays. And a lot of the time, guys, not every time, but a lot of the time, there is some level, you know, some level of correlation between the length of a role play and the quality of the role play. Now, don't get me wrong. I've seen some 10,000 word pieces of shit, and I've seen some 2,000 word role plays that are just masterful. But I've told you guys, this isn't a straight shoot fed, it's a shoot character development fed. So if you're writing your 2,000 word shoot and you think that's enough, and the guy who wrote against you wrote a similar 2,000 word shoot, but he wrote 2,500 words of character development, guess who's going to win that match, guys? A lot of you guys are, not a lot, but some of you guys are focusing too much on the shoot or too much on character development, and you're not really doing the other thing, and you got to do them both. Okay. And you can even character development in your dialogue by like talking about how your character's feeling, or maybe even talking about like what his thoughts are, in between like paragraphs of speech. Like, there are ways to do it, even if you don't want like have your character go take a drive out in his Camaro and go meet some wenches at Adrian's wench hole or whatever. Okay, there are ways to do it without doing these ridiculous, outlandish role plays, and it's just a matter of y'all figuring out how to do it. And if you don't understand, I can explain it to you in more depth. Okay, we're almost at 19 minutes already, so I'm going to try to wrap up here a little bit. Sorry, throat sucks. Anyways, guys, what I pretty much want to tell everybody is that for the most part, y'all are doing a pretty good job. There are a few people who could pick it up on the role play side a little bit. Obviously, no more no shows, please, guys. I don't want to say it anymore, but I'm going to keep reminding you because now I'm going to say, well, I told you in the show, no showing, and you no showed me anyway, so you're getting fucked. There are some big things coming, okay? Now, I told you a little bit earlier, and I guess I will discuss it at least a little bit. Um, we're getting to the point with handlers where we're actually filling up a card, and I'm having some people left over. And that means I'm throwing them into fatal 4-way matches. I'm throwing them into 3v3 tag team matches. Those things can be great as like a plot device to like strengthen a storyline, or if we're doing stable versus stable stuff. But I don't just like to like grab 3 random handlers and throw them into a match with 3 other random handlers, because we've had problems with that where someone's partner no shows, and then it's just not good. But I do it because sometimes I like to try, mixing it up a little bit. But what I want to do that when I want to do that, or feel like the card needs it, or feel like maybe some guys need some practice working with other handlers, um, I don't just want to do it because I feel like I have to keep the match count on a card down. So what I did want to talk about is I am exploring the option of adding a second show. Okay, you guys are like, oh, well, it's too early for a second show. Well, it's not though. Like I said, the card's getting pretty full right now. I have a few other handlers. Sorry, my cat just knocked on a blind. I do have a few other handlers that are coming in the near future, so we're probably at about the point where I need to start thinking about doing it. Um, Now I'm gonna try to make this not sound like a Raw and SmackDown up here and then the NXT down here type of thing, because it's not really what it is. And in fact, I think a lot of people would argue that NXT is actually a better product than Raw or SmackDown right now, and it could be even better maybe if they gave it a 2 hour window instead of one. But that's neither here nor there. Um, what I'd like to try to do is have a show, and I'm not trying to make any, you know, prestige differences between the show. Of course, there's always going to be the elitist guys or the certain people who are going to feel like one show is better than the other, and I can't stop people from thinking that, but that's not the way I want to present it. Um, but I'm thinking that one show is maybe going to have, the standard like 5,000 word role play limit, and the other show might have like half of that, like a 2,500 limit. And the purpose behind that is twofold. One, it's so we can start bringing in a few guys who maybe aren't quite as talented or kind of want to develop a little bit, and they're not going up against, Chris Matthews in the main event or Red Dragon in the main event or, Austin Reynolds in the main event, Devin Copeland, Pandora, whoever, Ace Andrews. The point is that they're not role playing against guys who are going to churn out 4,000 or 5,000 words, and these guys are putting out 1,000, 1,500. Um, the other thing it's for, and I know I just made it sound developmental, and I'm sorry, I really didn't mean to, but it's a good point. Um, the other reason is so there are some handlers out there who are real talented writers, but maybe they do only write 1,500, 2,000, 2,500 words. Okay. Unfortunately, if you write a 9 out of 10 role play and you write 2,200 words, and another guy wrote a 9 out of 10 role play and he wrote 4,400 words, he just has more content. And since the role plays were very similar in quality, he's probably going to get the win on that. And that's just me being honest with you. Um, so I think it'd be good to have a show where there's a little bit more even footing for the guys who don't necessarily want to write that much, but still like to feel like they're competitive. And I think that's a good way to split it up, so we can give the guys who want to write 5,000 words and go hard every card a chance to do that. We can give the guys who want to still feel competitive, maybe write a little less, or maybe they're still working on some things, or hell, maybe Match decides that he wants to make a new character and he wants to try him out for a few weeks, or he wants to, kind of build the character a little bit before he tries to write 4,500 words with him. This is the kind of the place to do it, and it allows some of the real strong handlers that maybe you want to face but you don't want to write 5,000 words. Well, now you'll get to see their other character on this show, and you'll get to face them and see how you kind of stack up. um but they're going to do it at a word length, or a word limit length that you're comfortable with. So that's kind of that concept. And I'm not sure if that's what we're going to do yet. It's just a thought. This is something I appreciate your guys' feedback on. um, it's pretty important to me to kind of understand the needs, that the community has, like what you guys feel like you need or what you feel like you're not getting. So please, about this specific idea, feel free to PM me your ideas. Please don't post them in chat. I'm not going to see them all. Please just PM me. Just, you can say you think it's great. You can say you hate it. You can say, well, maybe it could be good. You could ask a question. You could address a concern. But that's kind of where I'm at with that. Now, we're getting almost to 25 minutes, so I'm going to wrap it up. There's going to be some exciting stuff at the pay-per-view. You're not going to want to miss it. And don't no-show this card or you won't be there. For right now, I'm out. Anything you guys need, just hit me up. Bye-bye.